Welcome, Salam and Samar. I'm glad you all are here for the end and completion of our fiscal year. It's been a roller coaster of a year, but the Lord has been faithful to us, and He's been faithful to us both here in the States, but also to our field team as they've navigated the COVID crisis. I was telling someone the other day that we really are ministers of the gospel who rescue, restore, and rebuild the lives of persecuted Christians. And you two are an integral part of that as you lead the team. I wonder if we could talk a little bit about what the Lord has done and how He's provided for us through this COVID season, and how through these emergency relief kits, we've been able to really help almost 25,000 persecuted Christians with the 7,000 kits we were able to distribute.
Yeah, we deal with different countries and we deal with different churches, and during the crisis we started to we need to decide to make a shift at that point in time, because we've been depending on face-to-face more interaction, but now countries are locked down and for long times, and then people start to struggle because many of the persecuted in particular, they have because of relocating them in different countries and different cities, they get the least paying jobs, and they are hourly paid, and their jobs, they lost their jobs during the crisis, so the struggle is more. So the pastors are coming to us, small groups, underground churches. That's how the Middle East is working in North Africa. So they say, we don't know what to do with our members. We can't meet, first of all, but they are struggling. They're struggling financially. They don't have food on the table. So we geared the whole operation during that toward focusing more of getting those people help with food, and those emergency relief kits, of course, include food mainly. Some of them include hygiene products that they need for their need. And this huge number, we did not expect to help that number. I remember in Morocco, a blind man said, nobody cares at certain point. I'm blind, I can't even shop for myself. And the church cannot visit because of the lockdowns. But when one day they opened the country, he found the food in front of his doorsteps. And many people in Lebanon, the same thing, in every country in the Middle East, they said you show the real love of Christ in the time of crisis. That's practical Christianity. And now we know the Lord is alive.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
One of the countries that we minister into and have a presence is Lebanon. And of course, they were hit hard by COVID. And then to add insult to injury, they experienced really the worst non-nuclear explosion probably in the history of the world. We all watched in horror what happened in Beirut from that harbor explosion. Tell us maybe a little bit about the over 6,000 people we were able to help rebuild in Beirut.
Well, our team from day one, actually when the explosion happened, they were serving persecuted Christian. I still remember the lady that is helping us, our staff there. She said, I was visiting with another persecuted ladies when I heard the explosion. And from that minute, they stopped with the people. They went down to the area where the explosion happened. They saw the needs, and of course they said people were devastated. And from day one, they gathered themselves. We have a lot of persecuted Christians who were ready to help. They came to the team. They say, let us go. Just show us what to do. So what they did, they got some food. They bought a wagon, and they took the wagon and they placed it at the area of the explosion. They had Bibles, they had everything somebody would need, water, food. They prayed with people. Actually, they brought a guy to know the Lord. And there was one of the lady who knew the Lord, that during that time, her parents died because of COVID. So she came back to us. She said, without your telling us about the love of Christ, I would never feel, I'm in peace now, knowing that my parents know the Lord and they are in a better place. So for us, it was a ministry where we provided the persecuted Christians. They gathered themselves in groups. with our team, and they went to people and they tried to help them fix their homes, take them to hospitals, bringing them medications, food, any need that was around them. They were able, to reach that need, and to go even to pastors and to ask the pastors, what more needs do you have? And they were in a great relationship with the pastors there too, and helped during that time.
That's wonderful.
But really, they did a great job. They were the Lord's hands and feet in that area.
Fantastic. One of the ministries that's sort of really grown under COVID is the Safe House ministry. We've been able to add 7 new safe houses this year. Tell us a little bit about why safe houses are so critical to what we do.
Okay, when we relocate people from one country to the other, or like within the same country, just to protect them, of course we provide nice furnished safe houses where they get this kind of comfortable feeling, because they've been running for their lives, those people, and we want them to be settled until we find a real or like a lasting solution to their problems. We welcome them. We have in those houses, like, they are equipped, furnished, and everything is paid, like rent, bills, everything is covered. So they just sit there. We do Bible studies for them. We integrate them to churches if the churches exist in that region. If in that country the churches don't exist, we have a church in their home, like where we worship together, and we empower them spiritually to face the challenge that is gonna face them, and we try to find them jobs in the new community, and then how to rent in the future, or like find their own accommodation later on. But the safe house is like a kind of oasis in the middle of the wild ocean, let's put it this way. And people are like, just their faces change how they look. They got relaxed, after the worries, after the fear of being killed, the fear somebody's watching them, and we help them with everything, like new phone numbers, and so we can reach out to them, and we provide those places where Christians live around them. So sometimes we delegate the follow-up of the person or the family living in the safe house to a close Christian to them, so the visitations can happen. Some people provide food, just out of love. They cook for them, they bring them food, meals, until they start doing it on their own and take off from there. So it's like a rug underneath your feet, and you pull it, and you're now on your face, you fall on your face. But no, we hold them from falling immediately, and we take them to another place where they can relax, enjoy the Lord again, and know that there are people around them who love them and will walk the extra, not mile, but miles with them until they are in a safe situation again. And not to restore their life, but build it again in a good and maybe more solid, basis in their Christian faith, where they can face persecution in a better way, and they know how to react to certain emergencies in their life that will happen again. But they are important to the ministry, because we don't want, like, the persecuted Christians to retrieve back and they be inactive in the Lord's kingdom. No, they are active members. Not because of lack of freedom they are not active. They are active, and they bring to the church a lot of input that sometimes the churches themselves don't see it before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell us about Jabber. He really was someone that we had to rescue out of a very challenging situation and put into our safe house.
Yeah, through the great network of people that we know, I have a phone call, for this person, saying, like, this person lived in Saudi Arabia for so long, and he was searching certain things that he doubted about what he believed in, and then he landed toward people were like guiding him through the social media to Christ. Then he went to Egypt for a year, and there he was discipled very well in one of the churches. And of course he decided to follow the Lord in Saudi Arabia, but he was discipled in Egypt. And then for some reason, he was caught, he was like put in jail. Then he was deported to his country, which his original country is Yemen. And in Yemen he was followed by his relatives, so he could not stay there. And what country is open for him? So he ran for his life to another Arab country, on the first plane, and we hosted him in a safe house there. for about 3 months. Then, of course, residency issues. We have problems with how to reside in a country without a certain status. So we have to relocate them again to another Arab country. So now he's in a safe house. Then, now he rented on his own. So all these steps, to guide somebody until he found a job and he's working. And we offer people jobs in projects that we do as well in that area. So we have kitchens, we have farms, we have that we equip and stores. And so we, open projects for them so they can find a source of living. But this was a very successful story, all this kind of journey with somebody who lost everything.
Yeah.
And he told me at some point, I didn't know the cost of following Christ will cost me that much.
I said at the beginning, right, that we are ministers of the gospel, and that is our DNA, right? All of our team have that in their DNA. And one of the things that I've seen over the years is a large number of people who have been baptized and discipled through our team. Tell us a bit about that process of discipleship and baptism and why it takes on perhaps a slightly different flavor than what we're used to maybe in the West.
Yeah, especially with the refugee crisis in the Middle East and what's happening, this encouraged a lot of many people that lost, they left their families, their countries, their homeland, to be in an area where they're thinking, what's the next step, And when the churches are there and we are there through the churches, we're supporting different groups here and there with the emergency relief kits, with helping the people, finding jobs. People start coming to church, and I remember one lady said, I'm coming to church, I don't believe in what you believe yet, she said, but I saw how the life of my relative got changed, and I want to know what's the reason behind that. Of course, she got saved. She knew the Lord lately. And many people started to come to the Lord in bulk. And we started to delegate small groups. In the Lebanese blast, we have 25 Bible study groups. And one of the churches started among the Armenian population in Beirut. And we found a pastor for that small church to start. So we have different groups of reaching out to them. We could build the bridge faster. And showing love, it's not theoretical thing. It's very practical.
Yes.
And you can gather them in groups, and we start delegating the leadership of the groups because not every staff can handle so many people. And we're glad, we're coming in July to baptize about 49 people in one baptism. And it's gonna be a big celebration in one of the Middle Eastern countries. And most of those people never know Christ before. It was something new.
Muslims.
Yeah, they're paying a heavy price for this
Yes.
decision, aren't they?
Yeah, it's when you declare Jesus, you're following him to that level, that means the world is behind your back. And now Jesus is in front of you.
Amen.
And that's a big success in their lives, and we celebrate with all those newcomers, and heaven is celebrating with the newcomers to the kingdom.
One of the countries where we've invested heavily over the last 2 years is Iraq, and the Iraq Ministry Center in the northern part of that country, where we've been able to reach 25% of the town of Karakosh. Tell us a little bit about the things we were able to do this year through the Iraq Ministry Center.
Yeah, this center is really a blessing because it was found on the land where ISIS were ruling for some time and kicked all the people out. Even the place where we have the center was a burnt place, and we rebuilt it again. It was like dust. So the people saw that somebody is coming to take care about them, those who came back to their homes. And of course, it's very depressing to feel the whole city is not functioning. Water, electricity, they started really from zero again. No infrastructure, no sewage system, nothing like that. And we started from scratch. They were suffering really in the beginning. But first, we could hire many people to do the job with us. So we provided jobs. Then we could serve about 75 families every month with emergency relief kits. That's a big help to the country, to that city. Then we have like trauma counseling and different kinds of counseling to help them adjust to the new situation. Kindergarten, we have kindergarten for the kids, and of course teaching the English language and the Bible together. We have English as second language to empower the new generation to find better jobs, because jobs are very minimum, you know, with the bad economy, and it's like this city is like trying to like coming from the dead again, sadly. So people saw like why we're standing with them, you know, we don't know them, and they knew that what's motivating us is we love them because Christ loved us.
Yes.
We're just reflecting, you know, giving back what He gave us. And they're so happy, so glad. I mean, and we're still going on. We're still pressing on, even with new ideas how to reach the majority people in that area for Christ and empower them.
Well, all of this would not be possible without you all and your leadership. And I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to our supporters, our partners, because without you, we couldn't do any of this. And so this month, the month of June, as we wrap up the fiscal year of our year, we're asking for those of you to support, continue your support, make a grant this month. We have a $250,000 matching challenge this month. So would you come alongside us as we finish this year strong here in the month of June? Thank you all.